Yeah, everybody knows the PCAST. We're the Portland Central America Celebrity. Oh, we do events programming around it. Membership then. Yeah. You like this? My speakers are dumb. Yeah.
We got. Hey, Joe.
Hey.
I felt somebody watching me back there.
You're good. What's going on out here? Can you just give me a brief update?
Well, this is a solidarity rally all across the nation. We're doing rallies in front of the FBI's offices saying, hands off our activists.
And it's they have been raiding some activists, peace activists back east.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
seizing computers and that type of stuff. So we're out here to say enough of that. Stop it.
This is ridiculous. They're spending all this time and resources on people who are sworn to nonviolent action when there are other folks out there who may actually have bad intentions they're ignoring. For example, that guy that did the recent shooting on the Congresswoman. I mean, those kind of people are the ones who need to be under surveillance, not people who say, gee, stop hurting other people. That's such dangerous talk, stop hurting others, that they gotta do this to us. What about those nutbags out there who are getting their instructions from Glenn Beck?
Does it take a little bravery to come out here? Do you feel like, you're yelling at the FBI? Doesn't that kind of worry you a little bit?
Well, unfortunately, I've already had the experience of yelling at the FBI a few times, so it's no longer so scary for me.
And it's the principle.
And it's the principle of the thing. They're not going to be any more upset with us being here saying do the right thing than any of the others are. It's all the same.
Yeah.
It's part of the empire. Yeah, they're they're big bad guys, no doubt about it. They can fuck up your world, but so.
Yeah. Well, in principle, I appreciate you being out here like this.
Thank you
and
very
all
much.
the other people out here. Thank you.
Appreciate that, Joe.
Okay.
I'm a bad.
Let me get it just up a little bit there so I can see it. Not that I'm blocking your face, but it looks good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Could you get a shot right now? Their offices were raided. They believe that you can't work against the war unless you work in solidarity with the people who are affected by war. So they have contacts with the people of Iraq. They have contact with the people of Afghanistan. And that basic concept of mutual aid, they're turning into support for terrorism. And this is the first, the law is new, and this will be the first case that will set the precedent. And we think it'll be really damaging against our political activity, and especially in the context of Portland's considering to rejoin the Joint Terrorism Task Force. We want to show it's not okay, that we're opposed to it, and we will not be intimidated.
Okay. How you doing, man?
Yeah, there's a lot of they really.
Yeah.
Well, it's also if you're.
Wish we didn't have to do all this, but
Sad.
yeah.
Sad that the burden of proof is on the people. It's not on the system. I mean,
Yeah, the system that's in place to handle this stuff is out of whack, and
it's
we're
a
here.
failure.
It's a
total
failure.
It's there's no other word. It's irrefutable. It's a failure.
And so here we are.
So here I am.
Yep.
Here we are.
Yep.
Here are all of us.
Want peace, want justice.
Sure. Most people.
Freedom.
Yeah, and most people seem to be apathetic, but that's normal. the people who do care are here. They're driving by in Homeland Security vehicles. I think that's important to note.
Yep.
You know.
It'll probably be back around too. Yeah. I'm glad you're here.
Me too. I'm glad you're here. Hi.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for being here.
Solidarity's not a crime.
Palestine papers.
Yeah.
I don't know if was that WikiLeaks.
Oh no, not WikiLeaks. The Al Jazeera.
Yeah.
It was Al Jazeera.
Yeah.
All this stuff.
Or drop off some gas, or give it to Adam.
Officers and shit sit down and have a little question and answer session.
Hello, the running buddy. Yeah.
As far as what? Like establish communities? No, usually not, but like you go to the hospital and they got this book of like the tours that they do. Look in the back and there's a little thing in there and this anthropologist name is in there.
Hey folks,
If you're going down there,
if you want to be in the photo op, the radio station Chicago,
it's just set up
to
and
the
you gotta
folks
call them and ask them,
who are currently who are targeted today, that's going to appear on the website for the National Day of Action. Come this way. If you don't come this way.
Actually, 2 announcements. My name's Adam. I'm with Oregon Jericho, the National Jericho Movement for Political Prisoner Amnesty. And one thing that we have is a petition, a 2011 petition to reopen the COINTELPRO Pro hearings. And so if anybody's interested in signing that, we'd really like your help with that. You can also go to the website. I can give you extra copies if you are interested in trying to help get other people to sign it. So that's not in my words. So quote unquote, I began my career as a political movement lawyer. The government was rounding up the last of the die-hard militants, many of whom have been underground, and prosecuting them as a part of the Panther movement. They also subpoenaed anyone with any tangential relationship to those who had been arrested. I am talking about their daters, their lovers, their teachers, their religious leaders, their estranged relatives, those who had attended meetings, rallies, etc. All of this activity centered upon an expropriation of suburban New York of a Brinks armored truck and the people who were arrested and then later. Their purpose? To intimidate that branch of the movement that could be counted on to support militancy and troll for even the most insignificant crumbs of information that might be fitted together to enmesh suspects. What happened? Most people who had been tapped by the government lawyered up with movement lawyers, guided in part by the legal work of Bob Boyle and guild lawyers who had written legal representation before grand juries, which remains the standard on what to do and when to do it. A person subpoenaed is in the uninviable position of having only the vaguest idea of what the government may want and is faced ultimately with the choice of testifying against comrades or spending long months in jail. They may even face a possibility of being indicted for contempt and facing a sentence that is completely up to a judge. In the face of this challenge in that day, I can only say that most people chose not to testify and to wait out the government. They gave up an existence as they were living it. Jobs, relationships, and all that constitutes daily life. And they went to jail, and they stayed in jail for many months, and they didn't give in. Now we're in another era, one that was not born from the euphoria and idealism of the 60s, and the government is once again arresting, subpoenaing, and tormenting movement people, hoping they will become informants. And the reaction of the movement? We resist. We stand strong with the resistors who elect not to become part of the same prosecution team that has terrorized the world. Now the so-called Department of Justice, has decided to focus on support groups of the world's peoples and also on eco-terrorism. Why? Because they can. It sends a message to the people that it's dangerous, don't join, don't resist. That message must once again be shouted down, first by the resistors who will go to jail, and second by us, the movement who must support them by always filing those cold, memorable courtrooms to show our solidarity and by speaking out so their sacrifice is constantly remembered. Our principle of non-collaboration has so far proved robust. There have been no wavering. Our support must continue to convince everyone involved that these are issues of principle. There can be no compromise. Resistors must be defended to the utmost of our strength and abilities. Venceremos, Love and Struggle, Lynn Stewart, Carlisle Federal Prison.
Free Lynn Stewart!
Free Lynn Stewart!
So I don't know if anybody else wants to say anything, you know, before people kind of head out or what have you, but we thank everybody for being here, and well, just try to keep in touch.
Thank you.
WikiLeaks!
WikiLeaks!
Free Natalie Mountain!
Solidarity forever!
Oh, yeah, good.
Hey, if anybody wants some information on the Joint Terrorism Task Force, me and Mr. Modest Joe, wherever he's at, collaborative effort, wrote something up.